But it wasn't all like Gamergate stuff and bad game stuff. We did a lot of other new things, like the game reviews. We actually started a few of those early in last year. Kind of didn't keep up with them, but...
Yeah, we got sidetracked.
Life got busy for everybody.
Life and everything else.
Yeah. And then both Prinny and Grover got back to their gameplay videos, which they'd pretty much taken a very long break on for most of the year. But toward the end of the year, picked up on that a little bit.
Set up, I'll be able to do that too.
Yes, we need some Mike on this channel.
Oh, yes, I agree. If you guys do videos too, it'd be fantastic. I can only do so many games at a time.
So, more personal experiences. What have you guys felt about your worst games, best games, just worst and best memories about gaming on the last year?
The Amiibo gaff.
Oh.
GameStop's Amiibo gaff.
No.
Other than that, I can't really recall anything that's just been so jarringly upsetting that I haven't been able to, function or whatever, or been so disturbed. I mean, it's been kind of a boring year, other than the whole Gamergate nonsense thing. It's not really hasn't been anything major this year. I mean, we got some amazing movie license games finally, but I really can't think of anything.
So basically, Alien Isolation, Smash Brothers, Smiles.
Pretty much. I mean, we got the new WoW expansion this year, and it brought back a lot of players.
Yep.
That's been nice, seeing some people come back to the game that I hadn't gotten to play with in the past couple of years. I did get the Xbox One, and I thought it was really cool that you don't have to enter in codes for stuff anymore. You can just hold up a picture of that QR code, and your Kinect will read it, and bam, there's your download.
That's true.
So that was really cool for me. So I hate entering those codes in.
HAL 9000 has a use after all.
Yeah.
So about you, Grover? Same kind of questions. What's your top?
Well, you know me when it comes to good and bad. I'm gladly going to state my worst game. It is Tropical 5.
Oh.
A gigantic steaming piece of shit compared to Tropical 4. It is my worst game of the year. It was watered down. They rushed it. This is a game that everybody was excited about too. So it's just nobody can believe that they screwed up so badly.
Mm-hmm.
If they had just waited 6 more months and maybe got it a little better, it'd have been a really enjoyable game. But instead, I found myself driven completely insane by countless bugs and game-breaking bugs that would literally trap me in a level and made me reset 3 times before I just finally gave up and quit playing the game. So yeah, terrible. Then when you come to the best game, what's funny is I'm actually walking off and going to the consoles. The best game I played this year is Gran Turismo 6. I was playing it on a crap television, a crap 1990 television at that. And then we got a flat screen just about a week and a half ago, and I started playing it on that. Oh my god. That game was gloriously beautiful. I was like, it's PlayStation 3, you guys should have waited. But no, it's worth it. Best community in the world, nicest people ever. You go on there and you're really bad, and they're not all like, you suck. They're just like, they start talking crazy about the schematics of the game. They're like, when you hit this corner, you gotta hit it just here, otherwise you're gonna pill out, and then you do it, and they're like, see, you pilled out immediately, and they could sit there and talk about the entire course like that, and nobody's ever cussing each other out or anything. Every once in a while, you might do something like crash another person, and they're ranting and raving for like 2 minutes, and they're just like, all right, I'm over it, and then they're racing again. My favorite thing in that one though is all the cars have the sounds from the real cars. Like, we went to each one of these cars and started them up and recorded that sound.
They've always done that since the first Gran Turismo, but there's been limitations about how much of that they can actually store as far as sound bites are concerned.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a problem anymore. So yeah, I imagine they sound fantastic.
And thank God for memory, because they add stuff to this game weekly. Like, since I've had this game, there's been 5 new cars added to the game. But there's also a standard note problem. This game is at an average adding 500 megabytes to the hard drive to the PlayStation 3. It's crazy. It's like 50 gigabytes now. I can't think of a really good moment for gaming this year that was out amongst the most. The only exciting moment was when I saw City Skyline was being released and then saw what it was going to be like. And that's what's got my excitement going for this year. There's going to be something wrong with it just because it's a simulation game of that magnitude. And even the fight for their opinions and stuff, they're still a small group. And I hope they stay like that for a while, at least until the game is to a point that they can't screw with it. But yeah, I can't think of much more.
Well, probably the biggest surprises that I've played this year. Windforge, the steampunk kind of Terraria-like game where you can make your own airships and you fly to island and island searching for treasures and stuff like that. That was a blast. And my happy moment is kind of tied with one of the better games, and that's RPG Maker VX Ace. They had that package about the middle of the year, I think it was, that we all ended up getting. And I put in so many hours and so much progress on that game that I'd been suffering with a older version of XP, I think it was. And just the motivation and indecision about what I'm putting into the game has kind of pulled me back into limbo, along with other things going on with life. It's not so much of a priority right now, but it's something I really want to get back to, because just all of the progress that I've made and the stuff that I've been able to put in there that I never thought would be possible before. I've definitely got to put together a demo, even if I just show it on the channel, but having it being downloadable, that would be cool too. But now for the more depressing moments. Once again, a lot of the stuff that I'm playing is not the AAA titles. It's not even the BBB titles. It's a lot of bundle titles. So it's these little indie games, and there's a lot of indie games that aren't very good. But then there's ones that are just outstandingly awful. And imagine me, I see that all over bundles everywhere. They're on the indie charts and constantly getting updates, which I see that it truly needs. But it looks meh, it plays meh, it controls like an Atari 2600 game. So I'm really missing the draw on this one of why people get excited about it, or maybe it's just that they push it around a lot because they can't get rid of it any other way. I don't know. But even the trailer, I went to get the trailer for it so I could get as far as I could editing-wise later. The trailer is like 3 seconds of the title screen. The rest of it is like stock footage of dogs running through the park and people playing in city streets. And what the hell? But the one that topped even that was President for a Day Corruption. It's just hands down the worst, because it may not be me understanding the mechanics, but it felt completely unplayable, where you're thrown into this African country as its leader, and you're trying to pull it out of the turmoil it's in, with people going hungry, you got rebels all over the place, you have limited resources. It sounds like an interesting concept, but there's hardly anything to actually do. You might be able to move a tank over here, or you might say, yes, we will help these people at the expense of this money. That's about it. And when you had all of these glitches and some of the lazy programming that I've ever seen, where the code in the scripting is actually being printed instead of the words the characters are supposed to be saying, you would think this was supposed to be an alpha release thing. This is a fully released game that people are expecting money for. Oh. Thank goodness it was part of a bundle, or oh boy. And then some honorable mentions. The surprise little RPG I ran into in the early part of the year that I would have never heard about in my life if it wasn't for keeping up with these bundles was Mark Leong's Revenge of the Bitch. And it's kind of like a tame South Park style of humor, and it actually has full motion video and a great portion of this game. The rest of it is 3D kind of graphics. It's at times legitimately funny. I have cracked up more of that game than I have most any other that I've played in a very long time. The rest of it's groaningly stupid, but in a good way. I can appreciate really stupid humor. So it was a surprisingly enjoyable addition to my game collection, especially for RPGs, which I'm having a really hard time. I'll start them, but I won't go much further than like the intro stuff. I'll say, I'll get back to that one. And I've been saying that since Lunar 2 and Final Fantasy 9.
I know. When you told me you hadn't beat 9, I was like, huh?
There's so many RPGs that's just sitting there. I don't know how Final Fantasy 10 actually got beat when everything else is still sitting.
Because 10 was awesome.
But anyway, that was my list. So are we enjoying 2015 so far? Woo!
Too early to tell.
Yeah. So far, we've got City Skylines. And that is, my reason to continue gaming so far is just City Skylines. Minecraft, there's always Minecraft stuff to do. The modders are always coming out with something new. Mm-hmm. And it's just, new year, let's see what they all do this time.
Well, Mega Man is actually, I think already has a new video game. This blew my mind until I read the smaller print and saw the trailer. It is a South Korean only runner game for mobile called Rockman Go-Go. Yay! And those runner games are kind of addictive. I'm not slapping that particular genre. It's just, such a waste. And then this was just before Christmas, and this is the last game I would have ever expected, well, in recent generation anyway, to have come to the United States, and that's J-Star's Victory, which is that game that puts all those Shonen Jump anime characters into a big fighting game. I do not like the fighting game setup. It's based off those Gundam arcade cabinet type stuff, but still, I am a sucker for fighting games. I'm a sucker for crossovers. It is coming to the United States. Despite all of those franchises and all of that marketing nightmare, I don't know how they got around it, but it is actually coming to the United States on PS3 and Vita, giving me yet another reason to get me a PS3. And of course, our Prinny friends are coming to the PS4 with the recently announced Disgaea 5, too. There's always that.
I always wish that, I always say it, but I know it'll never happen if they would just put that on PC. Just one. They don't even have to release the current one. They could release just Disgaea 1 for PC, and and people would fall over themselves buying
You know, I would have said no, it'll probably never happen, but, I just forgot their name. But there are 2 Japanese RPG companies that have started putting some of their games on Steam. The Record of Agarest War stuff is on Steam right now. And Square's putting more of their older Final Fantasies. All of these RPGs from Japan are coming onto Steam. So the chances of Nipponichi joining that are getting higher.
Oh, goody.
It might happen. So, but yeah, I guess that's our show for this week. We'll try to be back next week, but if not, we'll see you a little bit after that. We'll see you next time is basically where we're going to. But you can follow us on Twitter, and you can, just follow us on Twitter, and you can contact us by email. Good luck figuring out how. There we go. Follow us on Twitter at PrinnyCast, and you can contact us at email at prinnycast@gmail.com. See, it wasn't that hard to figure out at the end of the day. Just the Gmail part.
There we go.
So go watch older videos. Yeah, we'll see you all next time, guys.
See you next time.